13 mitigator Ford Fusion. I'd like to thank you for listening to Let's Talk Racing.tv.
Driver of the number 5 Kiker Motorsports Camry. Welcome to Let's Talk Racing TV.
With Rockingham Speedway. Thanks for listening to Let's Talk Racing.
I'm Terri O'Connell, driver of the number 17 Toyota Nascar Camp World Truck Series, and you're listening to Let's Talk Racing.
Hey guys, I'm Daytona 500 winner Trevor Bain, and thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing.
I'd like to welcome everybody to Let's Talk Racing. We already have on the line with us Dylan Smith. How you doing tonight, Dylan?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Well, Dylan, give us a little background on what all you've been doing racing-wise to get to the point you are right now.
Well, I streamed road race like most kids do, and then moved to a house and legacy cars. We did that for a couple of years and made the jump to a late model, running the American-Canadian Tour. And then we ran out of money, so I didn't have much going on. And I got a break with Rev Racing, and they let me run a legend car for them at the shootout. And then I kind of was in limbo again after that. And then I got another break with the Haas Race Development Team, so that's where we're at right now, running late models with them.
So where all have you been racing at?
We've been racing we raced a couple races at Hickory in North Carolina. We have done, I think, 5 or so at Anderson, South Carolina. We've done 2 races at Greenville, South Carolina.
So, did you do the K&N stuff, or you just ran late model for Rev Racing? Rev Racing.
I didn't do for Rev. I didn't do any K&N or late model stuff. I just did legend cars. I just on the shootout. So I'm looking to make that jump soon to the K&N car, hopefully.
Now, are you in talks with anybody, or?
Yeah, I mean, over here at the Haas Development Program, we have 2 drivers, Cole Custer and Nick Drake, already. So that's an avenue. So that's kind of my main, other than the diversity program, that's kind of where I'm looking at going, hopefully, maybe if not next year, but the year after that.
Now, how did you get into racing to begin with?
My dad, he actually wanted me to be a golfer. He wanted me to be the next.
It's a lot cheaper.
Yeah, he figured it'd be a lot cheaper. But unfortunately for him and his wallet, it didn't quite work out that way. He was spotting for a Bush North team at my hometown. And we went to the racetrack one time, and I fell in love with it, and that's kind of where we've been ever since.
Now, he didn't ever drove?
No, my dad never drove. Matter of fact, my dad wasn't even a mechanic. Like, if you ask him, he'll say, he'll say he has no idea how he would do so well. He literally taught himself how to work on cars and whatnot by reading, like, the circle track books and just studying up a ton. And, talking to other people, and I don't know how he was able to do that, because most of the time, you gotta have some kind of mechanical talent to be good at something like that, but he was able to get it done like that, and I appreciate everything he did for me.
So what are your plans for the rest of this year? I mean, what kind of things have you got going on?
The rest of this year, we're looking hard at running for a rookie, national rookie standing. Get one chance at doing that. We're pretty high up right now, so we're trying to contend with that. We got We're going to run Langley twice. I'm really excited about going back there, especially with my own stuff. So that's definitely circled on my calendar. We're going to go there at the end of this month and then going back to the Hampton East. And it's not really, maybe we can sneak in a K&N race at the end of the year so I can get some experience with that.
Now you said you raced Langley Speedway. Did you race there last year, or did you come down for any races this year?
I ran last year at Langley. I ran for Bobby Creech for one race, which actually turned out to be like 3 races, because that one day after practice, when I came back home, we back to Langley. The next week we blew up after practice. When I came back home and drove back to Langley again, and was finally at the race. So I got some extra track time before that race.
Gotcha. How'd you like the track?
I love it. I think we've gone there for the combine the last 3 years. It's just really steep. It's my driving style, I guess. So, short, flat track. A lot of fun. So it's tough to get around. So, can't just sit back in the seat. And driving circles, you really got to get up in the seat, elbows up, and wheel that thing. So I'm excited to go back.
Now, how old are you?
I'll be 22 actually in about a week.
You're getting old, man.
Yeah, we got a birthday coming up.
So what do you do during the day? I mean, do you work in the shop at Haas, or do you you got a regular job?
No, yeah, I work at Stu Haas Racing in the Cup shop.
Okay.
We got our 4 drivers with Kevin, Danica, Tony, and Kurt. I'm excited. I love working over there. It's a great time. Everybody is really, really good to me. The company as a whole has been great to me and put me in their late model. So I work in teardown. So every car that goes to the racetrack or a test or anything comes back home, and I take all the parts off of it and clean them up. So.
Hey, Dylan. Now you say you work in the teardown area. Isn't there a guy back there working in that teardown area by the name of Walleye?
That's awesome. That's so great that you know. Yeah, Walleye, I have to look him in the eyes every day, unfortunately.
I'm sorry.
Is there anybody you don't know?
I'm sorry you got to look that guy in the eye every day, because when I looked at him once or twice, that was enough for me.
Sometimes I don't know which one to look at.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. But look, when you go back to work tomorrow and you see him, you tell him Jack Dodson said he better treat you right.
I will. I'll make sure he does too. Don't worry.
Oh, he knows who I am. He knows me really well.
Great. That's the best thing I've heard all day.
Yeah, y'all got some building going on down there at Stewart Haas, don't you? Last time I was down there, right before the Charlotte races, I saw a lot of clearing and everything going on next door.
Yeah, you'd be amazed at how fast I went up too. We got a lot of rain early on, and so it took a little bit. And once the rain kind of went away, they threw that building up in no time. They already got paint on it. So everyone at the shop is very excited to see how this whole deal comes together with the F1 team coming in.
So the F1's going to be in the whole new portion of the building and not carrying any cup over in that area?
I don't think they're really decided 100% what they're going to do, but I think it's going to be kind of split, like some of the F1 and some of the Cup stuff. They're still kind of working out the details. So, but it should be a beautiful building.
Definitely.
Right next door. For us, it's just something else that we'll go over and poke around and see what's going on over there.
So who do you have to go to for advice for driving to some of these different tracks? I mean, do you get to go talk to some of the Cup guys at Stewart Haas, or do you go talk to Cole, or what's the other guy over there? Nick. Right.
As far as because at the late model level, like Tony and Kevin and them guys, they haven't been really out there, lately. They don't really run too much of the late model stuff. So Rodney Childers is a crew chief for Kevin. I've picked his brain quite a bit. And David Hyder, he's a
old model guy.
Yeah.
He's over there. So I mean, between those two guys alone, I got a lot of knowledge to kind of pick their brains about. And I do every week. I kind of ask them, hey, if I get in kind of this situation, what do you do? What would you do? And they always steer me in the right direction. So it's really good to have people like that around.
Now, who's your crew chief?
Dave Johnson. He's from around Emporia, Virginia. We worked together actually at Rev when I worked under him on a late model. And so we've kind of come full circle. Now he's working for me for this late model, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Now, you're over there at Stuart Haas. You got a guy that's an engineer over there who has a lot of laps at Langley. You need to go talk with him too, and that's Cliff Daniels.
Cliff Daniels?
Yes.
Yes. Me and Cliff are good buddies. He's been helping me out a lot. He's always asking how we did every weekend and kind of what we're lacking, what we're struggling with, and he's from Virginia, is he not?
Yeah, he's from
up the street.
Yeah, he's right around here, so we know him good.
Yeah, he started out at Langley also.
Yeah, his dad.
He's got a lot of laps around that track.
So he'd be a good guy when you come to Langley. He'd be a good guy to talk to.
So I'll definitely have to go hunt him down in the shop. We just upgraded to 270 people. So there's still faces that I don't even know their faces and no names.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you know Josh May?
Yeah, I know Josh May. Yes,
all right, I'm sorry about that too.
He's crazy too.
Hey, anybody who's friends with this guy's got to be crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why do you know all the crazy guys in our show?
They sort of flock together, Dylan.
We've kind of been around each other a lot.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
They shared the same place out at the mental home facility.
I mean, at least you got a good story to talk about. But,
Oh, I can tell you
I
some.
can't say that'd be very,
I can't say I'm on here, but I got some stories about Josh May. So you tell him I didn't say anything bad about him today.
Yeah.
Oh, are you scared? I'm gonna talk to this guy.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say nothing to him.
Now, Dylan, I don't know if I may not have heard it, but where are you? You're not originally from North Carolina. Where are you originally from?
No, originally I'm from Haiti. I was adopted from Haiti really, really young to Vermont. And I grew up in 18 years of Vermont. My parents raised me pretty decently, I would have to say, other than, my own quirks that I kind of throw into my lifestyle. But other than that, I feel like they did a pretty good job. So, growing up in Vermont, no one really understands, no one knows anything. I come down here and they're like, do they even race up there? Like, bobsledding or what? And then, so I explained that no, we have race cars and we don't drive in the snow and it's just like down here. So, and I love racing up there. It's really competitive and hopefully I get to go back at some point.
Now, did Drive for Diversity, is that what brought you down to North Carolina?
Yeah, I did the combine and we had a TV show that I was involved with, so I did all of that and I didn't make it. Came back and I didn't make it. Well, we ran out of money that year. So I was kind of unsure what to do. And a guy that was working at Rev at the time, Brandon Thompson, took me under his wing and said, hey, come on down here. We'll get you in the shop. You can do some testing with us. And you can learn how to work on these things as well as learn how to drive them. So I kind of took the opportunity, and it's been a pretty great trip the whole way from there.
How long have you been down there?
This is my fourth year. I graduated in 2010, and I moved from Vermont that year right after I graduated.
Yeah, Brandon's a great guy, man. I know him personally. So, so I mean, you're liking the area, and it's all about racing, isn't it?
Oh man, if you're trying to do it, you got to be here.
That's what I try to tell people, that are really trying to break into the sport. If you're really serious about it, you've definitely got to move to the Charlotte area, be around it, live it, eat it, breathe it, and everything else.
Yeah, and it's more about the connections that you make. There's no way I would have made the connections I've made, living, even though I'm in Virginia, like Langley and South Boston, there's a lot of good race car drivers, a lot of good mechanics and everything. But most of them guys are older, so they've made those connections already from being down here.
Right.
Now that the times have kind of changed, if I was to just start there, it'd be a lot harder for me to get to where I'm at now.
Right.
So, I think if you're going to start young, then you need to come to Charlotte for sure.
Did you feel like you were taking a gamble when you wanted to move from Vermont down to North Carolina, or did you really feel confident about it going into it?
I I really felt confident from the beginning. My friends, my family, even my mom, my dad was he was all about it, but my mom was a little wary about it. But other than that, like they all kind of, what are you gonna do if racing doesn't work out? And I'm like, what do you mean if it doesn't work out? It'll work out. If it doesn't, then we'll figure it out later. But I put all my chips in this and in this pile, and it's worked out for the best so far. So I'm just gonna keep on rolling down this street, see what happens.
Yeah, well, good for you, because I mean, you got to think positive. I mean, you can't, if you think you're going to fail to begin with, then
Yeah, I mean, definitely got to go down there with a great positive attitude. Can you tell us a little bit about your sponsors and you know what you got going on for the rest of the season?
Yeah, my main sponsor is Haas CNC Automation. You know, the same. My car looks identical to Kurt's on the cup level. It's actually, as a matter of fact, the same wrap. Because they changed some stuff up and we were able to, you know, use their old stuff, so that was pretty cool. Main sponsor is hometown sponsor for me out of Vermont, Mansfield Hell Flight. My good friend Eric Chase, who races up there actually, he builds, trains people on how to make helicopters and airplanes, and he gives tours. He does services to all those type of vehicles and aircraft and whatnot. So this is pretty one of a kind in Vermont for sure, and I think it's one of the biggest in New England. So that's pretty cool to have someone from back home work with us this season. And then we got Buzzy Racing who's down here in Mooresville. He puts together all my rear ends, and he does a lot of the team's rear ends and gears across the board for K&N and truck and ARCA and late model and modified. So he does a really good job, and he's been a friend since I moved down here as well. So it's good to have him on too.
Very big name, yeah. Now, can you tell us what the buzz has been like around the shop with Kurt, you know, going over racing the Indy 500 and then coming on over to Charlotte and racing the 600? What's the buzz been like?
Yeah, we found out he was a kid. I think he started doing that deal before he signed with us. He started practicing that before, and then he came over, and it became more real. And all of a sudden, you know, we're at Daytona and Brehm, all of a sudden we're here at Charlotte, so it kind of came on really quick, but it was really cool. For him to do that, I think it means a lot for our side of motorsports, because I think it's a hard transition from the open wheel we've seen with those drivers to the stock cars, but for him to make that jump to the other side
Right.
so well, I think it opens a lot of eyes to how hard it is to drive in NASCAR and how competitive it is and how different our cars are compared to theirs. So he did a great job. Everyone was pretty stoked about it. And then he came back to Charlotte and he started dead last and started coming through the front like Tony did back in the day. So that was pretty cool to watch.
All right, well, Dylan, we're going to let you get back to whatever you're doing. I know you got to get some rest because you got to work with Walleye tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a full-time job working for them.
Yeah, so I'm going to let you get on and get some rest for that because I know that's going to be tough. But you be sure to tell him you talked to me tonight.
I will. I appreciate it, guys.
All right, we appreciate it. Talk to you later.
thanks, Steve.
Man, take care.
We got Tab. Who's he? Oh, he's with Kyle Larson.
Joe.
Joe's down there. Oh, is he? Tab, how you doing, bud?
Good. How you doing?
I can't complain. Well, I mean, I got to work with Jack, so.
You don't even know who that is.
Well, he will in a few minutes.
He will.
There's probably somebody he works with that you know too.
Yeah, probably is.
Well, Tab, we got, I'm Scott Allen, we got Jack Dodson, Brian Morehouse, Roger Brehm. How's things in your neck of the woods?
Doing pretty good. It's good evening here in North Carolina and just hanging out.
You ain't from North Carolina, right? But you sound like you're from North Carolina.
Nah, I'm from Penske, Florida originally.
Oh, are you?
A little further.
For some reason I thought you were from up north.
A little further south than what you would think.
Yeah.
Nah, no, North Florida, that's about it.
That ain't a North Florida. That ain't a northern accent.
Well, that's why I was wondering, because for some reason I thought he was from up north, and I said, it doesn't sound like he's from up north. I thought he was talking about, they had cars instead of a car.
Yeah.
So, how did you get started?
It's been a whole lifetime of racing. My dad was a short track racer whenever I was a kid, and just grew up at the racetrack. The first time I went, I was 2 weeks old, and on my uncle's race, and it was an every weekend thing. That's all we did. We didn't play a lot of sports when I was young, and just went to the track. And then once, whenever I was 13, my parents moved me and my two brothers, and then we all moved to North Carolina and started mowing yards at Darrell Walter's shop and hanging out. And then while I was in high school, I got a part-time job at a Bush team, which is now a nationwide team, and
Was that Ashton Lewis?
did everything. Now, the first time it was with Eldon Sawyer on the 38 Ford Credit Red Carpet Lead Star, Aiken Sutton Motorsport.
Yeah, you won one race, right?
Yeah. I think one. I know we won Myrtle Beach. Yep.
Yeah.
Have you had any background with racing yourself?
Yeah, I raced street stocks for quite a few years, and then dipped into the super late model thing for a few years, and that got to be a little too much traveling, because during that whole time I was still traveling on a race team, so I didn't get to race every weekend. I never got to race for points anywhere, so just raced when I could and learned what I could.
You raced down there in the Carolina area?
Yeah.
Concord?
And Concord mostly.
Yeah, I tell you what, that's a great track, man. I really like to see that thing be able to bounce back. Fast track.
You talking about the big track or the little
Concord.
Yeah. Well, they got two tracks there.
Well, Tab, tell us a little bit about this RC car racing you're into now.
there's a group of us, and man, we just love racing. We love the whole nostalgia of it, and so a few of us got these little 10-scale dirt cars, but we made a concrete track. My buddy Mike Herman at his house, he recently paved a driveway, and what better use for it than to make a racetrack out of?
I should have known Mike Herman had something to do with it.
That's right.
The Herminator.
Yep. So we've been over there. We've had a couple tests. It hasn't been an official event yet. We're trying to get the tire rule figured out and all the rules.
Rules?
Wait a minute. Now, who's in charge of getting the rules together?
Well, I think it's kind of a committee. We'll figure it out. I guess whoever has the biggest voice.
All right, now wait a minute. I want to know: is Mike got one too?
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's got about 4 of them.
So Mike has got the track in his yard, and y'all having. I know who's going to set the rules.
Yeah, it'll be him. Yeah.
Now we heard a rumor. Now, do you have like hero cards out and everything?
Oh yeah, I mean you gotta have it all for real. We have little hero cars made up for the RC car. It's all just for fun. We do it mainly.
He's definitely from North Carolina.
Come up with one next.
Well, then you got to get us one of them hero cards. I want one of those.
He's showing me up.
All right, they're at the printer.
You got to get me one of the. And is Mike getting some too?
We got one of these personally autographed now.
Sure, I'm sure that after they see them, they will probably all have something made up.
Well, look, does Kelly have it? Does she come out there and watch y'all do this?
Who's that?
Kelly Kent.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she might have a little trick up her sleeve. She's supposed to be head scorer, but I think she might be in the race.
Wait a minute now.
Head scorer?
Wait a minute now. Mike Herman's girlfriend's going to be the head scorer, and he's setting the rules. You ain't got a chance, Tab.
It's all for fun.
Yeah, it's for fun. I know.
So Mike's the owner of the track, the promoter, and he sets the rules, and he's the head tech guy.
And he also has a scorekeeper
in his pocket.
and it's all in his yard, so you know.
Good luck, Tab.
That's wondering what's wrong with this picture thing.
Hey, look, were you in the cigar club thing the other day?
What's that? I didn't hear you.
Were you in that cigar club thing the other day with Mike and all that? I saw a picture with Mike with a cigar. Was you in that?
Yeah.
Absolutely. That was my garage, that picture that you saw.
Okay, all right. Oh yeah, we're looking at it now. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
That's a rough looking bunch right there, buddy. I'm gonna tell you.
there's a variety of people, I'll tell you that.
Oh lordy. Well, give us a little bit of background about who you spot for and your race day weekends.
My deal at the racetrack, I spot for Joe Logano in the Sprint Cup Series, the 22 Pennzoil car, and I spot for him also when he runs the Nationwide car in the 22, either the Hertz or Discount Tire car.
So you get a spot for sliced bread.
In the church, I spot for Johnny Sauter.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you got a full weekend when you're at the track.
Oh yeah, it's fun. I like to stay busy.
Now, did you ever ask Joey how he came up with the nickname Sliced Bread?
No, I think we're growing out of that phase, thank goodness.
Now, tell me a little bit about when you were at Concord.
When I was at Concord?
Speedway.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man, that was such a learning experience. I loved having my own car and racing whenever I could, and got something like 5 poles and 5 wins out there, and more importantly, was able to learn so much. I use that spotting more than anything as my experience driving and learning what I would want to hear if I was driving things. So I use that still to this day, even though it was 10, 12 years ago or more, and just picture myself in their situation, what I would want to hear and what's going on, and making the best of whatever you got to work with.
Now, tell me, somebody said to ask you about your dad and what he does.
My dad, he's awesome. He has a radiator repair shop in Kannapolis, North Carolina, and he is an absolute wheel man. He hadn't raced in a few years, but man, that's what I did growing up, is watching him race and drive and seeing all the people he raced against. Whenever I was a little kid, he raced against Bobby Allison and Donnie and Neil Bonnet and all those guys that came down from Birmingham, and he raced in Pensacola at Five Speedway week in, week out. So the snowball derby to me was a normal occurrence growing up, and I just loved watching that and just learned so many things being around the racetrack.
Now, somebody said something about he used to work on some of Dale Jr. stuff.
Oh yeah, a lot of these guys around Kannapolis, a lot of race team guys, but when Dale Jr. was little, he's like all the rest of us, and he had leaky radiators in his old cars, so his dad had to fix them up.
So how did you transition over to the spotter stand? How did you get started in that?
Yeah, whenever I first started, I went pretty much straight to being on a pit crew. So I was 17 years old, changing tires on a Busch car at Rockingham. That was the first time I ever was able to do it, and I did that for probably about 6 years, and got to working with Ashton Lewis, and we had a few situations where we needed a different spotter, and I was on the pit crew and changing tires and loving it. Well, we had at the time a few people that could do the same, that could go over the wall and change tires. So I said, I'll go up the spot for a couple of weeks till we get somebody to come along and see how it goes. And we did that. And once I spotted one race, I was like, man, I really like being this involved. From the pits, you can only see so much. Nowadays, they have big TVs and all that good stuff and all the big monitors, but back then we didn't have much, and you just had to see what was going on in front of the straightaway. So being up on the roof, you're able to have a bird's eye view of everything that's going on, and I really like being part of that and being in the game.
Now, Tab, up there on that spotter stand, there are some real characters up there. Do you all ever really have disagreements among yourselves up there that sometimes may get a little heated?
Well, yeah, you do. And, you know, even we're all pretty tight-knit up there. You have to stand elbow to elbow with everybody on that roof every race, every week. And some weeks you might be mad at somebody, and the next week you're sitting there hanging out on the bench telling racing stories or something, you know. So there's times when people get wound up and angry and yell, and most of the time when the race is over, it's pretty much over with. We all do this enough, and we've been racing long enough to know that stuff's going to happen. And even if you're mad or something's voted up, by the next day you're totally over it, and it's no big deal.
Now, did you take any lessons from Fat Boy?
I don't know about that. maybe truck driving.
He has to be one of the most interesting people that ever was up there.
He's been around a while.
I'm telling you, and he can tell you some stories. Now I'm not sure they're true, but he can tell you some stories.
Yeah.
I don't know where to go from there. It sounds like there'd be some good stories in that.
How do you dealing with Joey Meyer?
How do I dealing with him?
Yeah.
We get along good. He's been doing this thing a lot, and he's been very successful. So he's a good guy. I like to ask him about the weather. He's a pro on the weather and things like that because of the pilot status. So if we have any questions about what's going on there, he's the man to ask for sure.
I've sat up there and I'm not in the spotter stand, but I know a lot of the guys that go up there, and it's got to be interesting before races and after races up there.
Oh yeah, it's before a race, it's usually some pretty good storytelling. But it's good. It's fun. It's a good group of guys on the roof there, and I think the drivers are. They obviously trust him with a great deal, and they're all real good guys. So yeah, it's a pretty cool deal to be involved in.
Well, what's it say about the drivers that would trust Fat Boy? I mean,
I don't know.
I hope he's listening, because I really would like for him to call in here and start something with me.
Hey, now when you spot for like the trucks and the Nationwide and the Cup, do you have the same set of radios? And are y'all all on the same channel, like with Johnny Sauter and the rest of them, or do you have to carry extra radios for those guys?
No, with NASCAR's rules, we're allowed to have all the divisions, the Nationwide and truck, all on the same radio. So all I have to do is reach down and flip the dial, and they're right there.
Okay, well that makes
Who
sense.
basically, I mean, everybody's got a mentor. Who basically mentored you in being, who you are today?
Oh man, that's a hard question, because there's so many people that have an influence. I think that with all racers, there's not one person that teaches you everything. I think you have to be open enough to gather bits of information from all of the guys. Even whenever I was a kid, my dad knew so much, and he's so good at little trinkets and fixing things and making stuff get by in a pinch. If something's going wrong with the car, you can fix it or figure out how to make it work. And some of the guys that owned the cars he was driving, they all have neat little things about them and learned so many little things, and they all add up. One of my short track heroes is Freddie Query, that raced at Concord and the All-Pro Series Super Lane models. Just watching him go in his shop and watching how he operates, setting up the car, and you just learn. I was taught at an early age, keep your mouth shut and your eyes open, and you pick up on things. So I think there's hundreds of people that were influences growing up.
That's great, man. Well, hey, we're going to move on over to our next I was going to say customers. I'm so used to saying that.
Our next interview.
So, hey, Tab, thank you for calling in, and we look forward to speaking to you more throughout the year.
Yeah, we got to get you back on. There's a lot more unanswered questions out here.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, we're at the Stag and Doe restaurant here in China Grove, North Carolina, and my buddy Frank Bolter was a starter for Ryan Hunter Ray and won the Indy 500 this week. So we're going to go in there and have a little beverage and celebrate with him.
I hear you.
Is Mike Herman with you?
Yep, he sure is.
Oh, shit.
Well, you tell him I said hi.
I will.
All right, man.
Later.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That'd be a cool one to have on too. The guy who was spotter for the 500.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
George Keller's on line one.
George Keller.
Yes, sir. How are you tonight?
We're doing great. This is Scott Allen. We got Jack Dodson, Brian Morehouse, and Roger Brehm.
I'm getting left out to the end. Sorry about that.
Thanks for having us.
So how's things going at Dover? You guys getting prepared for the weekend?
We got ready today. I had a 12-hour day today. That'll be the shortest one until Monday.
So what is your responsibilities around the racetrack?
Well, I'm the track historian, which is pretty much an honorary title, and I accept it. If I'm still standing, I'm in Monday morning. It's Sprint Cup race number 89 here. I've had some kind of a part in all of them.
Doug?
Right. I do the pre-race parade. I have something to do with Victory Lane. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what else right now. I just kind of go automatic, you know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of big things have they got going on around the Dover area with the race coming in, as far as the drivers being out and about, and what all kinds of stuff they got going on?
Well, I'm not exactly sure where they're making their appearances. I know that the race sponsored Saturday is called there's so many times. Buckle Up 200, presented by Click It or Ticket, the Delaware Department of Transportation and Public Safety.
Mm-hmm.
We had Reed Sorensen in here today for a press conference, along with Ben Kennedy, Paulie Haraka. Well, I was with them at noon time today, and they're in here. In fact, they're down in Rehoboth Beach tonight.
So, hey, y'all, you got that race coming up. That's Saturday, and then Sunday y'all got the big race. Tell us a little bit about your day and what will exactly be going on, and what you'll be doing from morning till evening.
Well, one of the things I'll be doing is making sure I'm there by 4:30 a.m. All right, and I hope to sleep about 4 hours Saturday night. 4:30 a.m. we'll get things going. I've got to make sure the Grand Marshal cars are in place. I've got to make sure our pace car is ready. Let's see. I have something to do with driver introductions a little later in the day. We'll actually do hot laps along with the Nascar pace car. I'll go get their backup one and do hot laps for our customers. And Saturday and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I always tell people they don't just let any idiot on the track, but I'm one they let on there.
So tell us a little bit about Dover and how you got involved with Dover.
Well, you know, it's my father's fault. He started dragging me to Darlington in the 50s. And when we read it, you know, the only thing you could read in those days about racing was National Speedport News. Well, I remember as a little fat kid, I couldn't wait for the mail to come to get a hold of that paper. And I had a chance to, interestingly enough, I thought it would be great if I could live closer to a NASCAR track. And that dream came true in 1969. Instead of riding from northwestern Pennsylvania to Darlington in the heat I had never experienced for the Southern 500, I actually live about 3 miles from the track.
What took you from Pennsylvania there? Was it the track itself, or was it something else?
All right, it was the track itself, as well as I had an opportunity to get a teaching job in Dover.
Okay.
More excited about the track than the teaching job.
Yeah, I can imagine
Yeah,
that.
well, we're probably all in that same boat.
Well, we're all sitting here wondering, how did Dover get the name the Monster Mile?
Well, Well, I don't know who it was, but when Grand National boys told they were going to come up north here, they really didn't want to come. We got to have always a huge handout. Thank you to Richard Petty and Bobby Allison. They were most loyal to us in getting us started. So the Monster Mile, after one of those early 500s, I might have heard it, but I can't remember who said it. Somebody said, one of those drivers said, this track is nothing but a monster. as well as it came down the road, our president then and still CEO, Dennis McLean, we got to give him credit for the name the Monster Mile.
Well, I mean, that is a tough racetrack. It's like one of those places you got to constantly be on top of your game every lap. It's not like some places you could ride for a few laps. It seems like you got to stay on
it the whole time.
Yeah.
It's a definitely wonderful race.
They're going around the track about every 22 seconds.
Wow. I mean, that's.
A lot of, I think I heard Matt Kempton talking earlier today that he feels the sensation of speed here is more than anywhere else. He compares it to Bristol.
Really?
They feel they're going faster here than they are in Talladega. I have heard Michael Waltrip say, Dover's fast. Well, we don't need to go any faster there.
Yeah.
So what is one of your fondest memories that has happened at Dover? Something that sticks out in your mind that's one of the biggest things.
Okay, it would have to be our September race after 9/11 when Junior won it. You could feel the electric in the air. When he took the big American flag in the race car, did the Polish victory lap, you could just see those people up there waving those flags. I'll never forget it. But probably one that would rank at the Apex. In fact, 30 years ago, this race, the actual race was May 20. Richard Petty won number 199 here.
Wow.
I remember being in Victory Lane. My job was to get in there and stand at the left rear quarter of the race car. And Richard started on, buckle started to come out. All of a sudden I felt something shoot between my knees from behind. I figured, what in the world is this? I looked down, there was a hand there trying to strip a decal off the back of that race car. Well, I was a lot younger and stronger then. I just drew my knees together, clamped the hand down. I'll never forget that guy going, let me go. Two right off the top of my head. I think another one, I believe it was the 1974 Delaware 500. Richard came from 8 laps down to win the race. Now, maybe he had a little help there late from Buddy Harrington, 67. We can't prove that, but I do know that Buddy had an older power that had Petty still on it. Those are just a couple things I thought of, guys.
Now, what's the deal with this trophy? I'm looking on your Facebook page, and it looks like you're repairing one of the trophies.
Well, those trophies are made in Oklahoma City, or a suburb of, and that guy came in, uncrated it. They come in 3/4 inch plywood crates. The dang crate weighs 75 pounds. The trophy weighs 60, and his arm was broken. So I decided, let me see if I can fix this thing. They put a doctor's smock on me. That's what that's all about. And you know what, guys? I was able to fix it. And, we still use it today. We would never give it to a winner.
Okay, I was wondering.
Yeah, I was wondering if this is something that y'all give to the winner himself.
No, we would not give the guy a broken trophy.
Oh, well. But, I mean, when you do win the Monster Mile, I mean, their trophy is this what we're looking at right here, right?
Yeah, it is for sure.
Now, who's in charge of making sure they put the right car in his hand?
You know what? We have a team assembled outside the track, and in less than 5 minutes, we will have that winning driver's die cast in that guy's hand. It's quite an enterprise.
Wow.
Yeah, I would imagine. I mean, that is one of the cooler trophies of some of the racetracks.
Really, the third most popular one. The Harley Earl Trophy in Daytona and the clock.
Right, yeah.
The clock. I would say the Monster's next.
Yeah,
definitely.
it's definitely a cool trophy.
Yeah.
I would say Liz Burton doesn't like it, right? Because she was in the Jeff's trophy room, and somehow, I don't know how she even got it up in the air or what happened, but the trophy came over on her and broke 3 ribs, if I remember the story right.
Is there? I didn't know that. That's funny. How long has that been the trophy?
Since 04.
Okay.
I think Ryan Newman got the first one, and I believe he got a second one that same year.
Wow.
Now, explain to me.
Guys, I wish we would get a lighter trophy. Because I'm at an age where I can pick it up, but I got to set it right back down. So I've always got to find a younger man to go help me deal with these things.
Explain to me now what the Dover Downs Casino back there and that crossover there. How do you get into that crossover? Do you have to be do you have to be a
How do we get tickets in there?
Well, no, I really don't want a ticket there. But I've always wanted to know how you can get in that area to sit and watch a race.
Okay, well, number 1, it's a hospitality suite, actually.
Oh, okay.
It's number 2, it's not a crossover bridge. We have signs up that say this is not a crossover bridge, and they still try it.
Yeah, I tried it.
56 seats up there.
Oh, damn, I don't know that many.
Yeah, that's a bunch of seats up there.
Now, how long has it been around?
That bridge came in 04 also.
Okay.
It was the DuPont Monster Bridge. It is now simply the Monster Bridge. And there's really something about being up there. And, they're coming under your feet about every 22 seconds. It is quite a rush. There's glass around it. It's not glass. We don't know what it is, but the DuPont engineers invented it. They shot lug nuts at it at over 200 miles an hour to just fall off. When we opened the bridge in 04, it was too quiet. So we literally had flooring removed and perforated to let no more noise in.
Really? That's pretty neat.
You're not going to fall through because I've been up there.
Wow.
So then who's usually, is that like whoever sponsoring the race, is that their hospitality?
Yeah, we work this way. Now, this is the FedEx 400 benefiting Autism Speaks.
Mm-hmm.
FedEx is our large corporate partner as well as AAA here. So if let's say they have 50 agents they want to honor. We love FedEx, so you better believe we're going to find those agents some seat time at the bridge.
Now, is there a press box up there?
No, sir.
No. Okay.
No. And then the other thing you see in turn 2 is a walkover.
Yeah.
In that we do not have an infield tunnel. We're smart people. We know we need one. Our water table's at 8 feet. And that limits the fact that we're not going to get a tunnel later.
Lots of dry lock.
Yeah, I was up there the year before last for a test. They were doing a Goodyear tire test, and I went up there for the Goodyear tire test. And me and my dad were both there. And we got to experience the walk of the track that day because everything was locked down by the time we got ready to get out of there. And we had to walk all the way around inside and then all the way around on the outside.
Let me tell you what happened to me. I'll tell you quickly what happened to me a week ago this past Friday night. I had a track tour with 30 PT cruisers. We recently hired the retired City of Dover police chief. He locked us all in there. So I said, Monday morning, I said, Chief, come here. When you were in your other job, I couldn't keep them from breaking in. You're in your new job, and I couldn't break out.
That's pretty good. So, I know you're looking forward to this weekend. It sounds like it's a busy weekend. A lot of people are always thinking that, tracks just open the gates and start selling tickets and hot dogs. It's nothing like that, is it?
No, it is nothing like that. There's about 20 of us that work year-round here for these 2 weekends. We live for them. We just live for them. As you all know, you're fans and involved in it.
Uh-huh.
So, this is our time to shine. We're tickled to death that the eyes of the motorsports world are focused on Little Dover, Delaware this weekend, which may be a little bit of a come down from where they were last weekend.
Well, what is the seating there now? How many does that track hold?
All right, you can seat 140,000, but we've done what everybody else is doing. We're giving the American people who have grown inside more seat room.
Okay.
Currently at 113,000. We have not taken out AC.
Really?
Oh, that's good. I didn't realize the place held that many, but I think it was a great idea to open some of the seats up because it was too crowded. I mean, I hated to sit in the stands when you're sitting like this the whole time, you know?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I try to go to Daytona 500 every year, and if I had to crawl back up in Seagraves the way it has been for 50 years or how many, that would have been my last one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to get my new tickets because I heard there's an escalator to carry this agent free up there.
Wow. Well, anything new coming about that you could let us in on Dover? I mean, we're hearing of tracks, adding things, taking things out, making things easier for RVs or anything like that. Anything you can share with us?
I don't know if I can share anything directly to a point, but we are bending over backwards. Please, those that come to see us.
Right.
I know we have shuttle capabilities to the different RV lots. We're continuing to try to improve an older facility.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And if the economy hadn't hit us, we would by now have a brand new cup garage. Mm-hmm. But we don't have a brand new cup garage because of what happened in 08.
Right.
Yeah, and how many, y'all have a lot of camping out there, really. I mean, you always seem to have plenty of camping all around the racetrack, too. Because I've gone up there and I've been camping over at the mall, usually when I've went.
Well, we can accommodate on the other side of 3,500 RVs.
Wow.
Which is going to be the site of our third annual Firefly Music Festival, coming up 3 weeks after our Cup weekend.
Wow.
We know we got 85,000 people coming to that, gentlemen.
Wow.
So you're going to be busy for a while.
Nowhere. That?
You're going to be busy for a little while.
Well, last year they had 70-some bands. I'd never heard of one of them except Red Hot Chili Peppers. The kids I work with said, "You never heard of Tom Petty?" Petty?
So what other events do y'all have at the racetrack besides the cup races?
That's it. Those 2 weekends, and now Firefly. Of course, I'm always giving track tours. In 2013, I only did 70. As few as 1 and as many as 80.
So, I mean, are y'all open for track tours, 1 day a week, or is that a everyday thing for y'all?
We market that we're doing Thursdays at 2 and by special arrangement. A week ago Saturday I had one with a 90-year-old gentleman.
Really?
Up in Chesapeake, Virginia.
Oh, really?
Okay, near us. Well,
Jack, what were you doing up there?
I'm not going to say nothing. Y'all can try to.
Now, do y'all have any driving schools that come up there and do ride-alongs?
Oh yeah, we have our version of Richard Petty's driving experience and all the other ones. We have Monster Racing Excitement here.
Okay.
They're not part of us. They lease the track from us.
Okay.
So you can come and drive one for 4 laps, or ride one for 4 laps, or drive one for 10, or how many ever you want to pay for. And they do a nice job. We work pretty close to them.
I tell you what, that's getting to really be a popular thing. I mean, I saw it a lot at Charlotte, and I've been to the one in Vegas and everything. It's really an experience that nobody's ever experienced, at least a ride along. But to be able to get behind a wheel of a car is really something awesome.
Yeah, Dover.
Oh, I think Dover would be an awesome track to be able to try that.
When we're done later on, ask me about a story about Al at Dover. Different than the other one you know.
Okay. Now, do you know Al Pearce?
Yeah, I heard that he did some kind of an interview with Richard Petty.
That's what we hear.
He was supposed to be here tonight, but he had somebody that was supposed to be going up to Dover with him this weekend that couldn't, and they decided to go out to have dinner instead.
Oh, really? I was hoping we'd talk about that.
Oh, it was good.
You got any good stories on Al?
No, other than that one.
Were you there? Did you witness that?
I might have, guys, but now I don't remember if I did.
Okay. Do you actually remember it, or are you just asking it because I told Camp about it?
That might be how I know about
it. What it was is Al had gotten a job with the Daily Press here in the early years, of racing and told them that he knew everything about racing.
All right.
And so they hired him, and the first race he goes to is to Dover.
All right.
So he's sitting there, and everybody's doing their questions and answers, and they're getting toward the end, and Al finally gets enough balls to ask a question. So he asked Richard Petty, he says, "Can you tell me, why don't you just open up the door to the car instead of climbing out through the window?" And Richard promptly replied back, "Boy, you don't know much about racing, do you?"
That's classic. I love it.
So him and Richard have always been good friends ever since.
That's really neat. I'll say nobody ever better than Richard with people.
Yeah, I tell you what, that's one great guy. If you ever see him around the garage, he always stops, talks to fans.
It's wrong today. There's never going to be another Richard, but more of them ought to try to emulate him.
Oh yeah, I think we'd all agree with that.
Well, now that you know the story, this weekend you'll have to catch up with Al in the media center.
Al's gonna kill you. Is what he's gonna do.
That's as good as done, Ben.
So how many crew members stay at the hotel there on the campus instead of going up the street?
You know, practically none.
Really?
There's 500 rooms in the hotel. There'll be a lot of NASCAR folks in there. There'll also be some media folks that are good to us. I don't think I'm talking out of turn here. I don't think this is anything that's a big secret. Our corporate people.
Mm-hmm.
Every now and then, if you keep pounding switchboard, there'll be a cancellation, and you can slide out into the hotel and be trackside.
Yeah, I mean that would be pretty cool to stay there. You could set because some of the rooms that can you watch the race from the room?
Oh yeah,
you can.
Yeah.
But you know what? As you know, I'm out there all over the place.
Yeah.
And very rarely do I even see anybody standing up there looking out.
Really?
So you gonna try to get a room over there, Jack?
See that?
I know a couple of times when I come over there riding my bike over from what's that bar out there right outside the parking lot. It's usually going pretty good. I usually ride my bike back over to the camper. There's like about 300. It seems like golf carts parked out in front of the hotel.
Yeah, I'll bet. How did we ever have these races without golf carts?
Well, hold on. I got to ask Scott a question now. Are you a Harley man? Or are you more like a 10-speed?
No, well, I can't ride my bike over there after I had a few drinks. I got to ride my bike.
That's what I was wondering.
But I will say, thanks to my aunt and uncle, they have electric bikes. So I'm a little lazy.
There had to be something easy to it, Jack. There had to be something easy to it.
So I ride my little electric bike over from the mall to Bubba's.
So have you turned that upside down yet too?
No, it's pretty good. It'll stay up by itself as long as you just get it going.
George, we're pretty hard on Scott here. At least he's going the right way.
Right.
You sure about that?
He's not going backwards.
Well, when I'm heading back, I'm going the wrong way on the track. But
You have to know a little bit more about Scott. He's races arena race cars down here in Richmond, Virginia. He's been on his roof a few times and gone the wrong direction on the track a couple of times too, in displeasure of somebody else's racing talents.
Yeah, come up here. We'll let you do it here.
That'd be pretty cool to run these things around there. I don't know.
You don't know what you're saying, George. You don't know what you're saying.
I'll have Ricky Dennis call you.
All right, we love it.
Well, we definitely appreciate you calling and everything. And anything else you want to tell us about this weekend coming up?
There's probably still some tickets available.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, is that anything new?
Now, was there a time, we know Bristol was like this and a few other tracks where it was so hard to get a ticket. I mean, there was a time when, people were waiting to get tickets.
That's the trend in the sport. The sport seems to be now saying we're going to either make the seats wider, take them out, want people to get nervous again about whether they're going to get a seat.
Right.
I kind of disagree with that. I don't know.
Well, so we definitely know that there's still tickets available for this weekend's race for Nationwide and Cup.
Oh, yes, sir. We have good seats still available for all 3 days.
That's great.
And by the way, Jack will be up there.
We have a weather forecast
You going on?
this weekend, maybe the best one we've ever had in terms of lack of heat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be like 75.
It's supposed to be in the 70s.
And the jet drivers are taking the weekend off.
You know, when I saw the air tanks pull in today,
I guess not.
Yeah.
be 12 of those trucks.
Have y'all had plenty of rain up there?
With that,
Have you had plenty of rain up there in Dover?
it seems like we've gotten a lot at least once a week.
Okay, then you probably won't get done this weekend then, because it only happens when NASCAR shows up to a town that has a drought.
Oh yeah. Now the little wetness around the truck practices tomorrow afternoon, and after that we are supposedly good to go. But 2 or 3 days in the low 70s.
Now, Jack, hasn't it also rain showed up when you've gone to the track?
Yes.
So you better watch out. He's going up to the track this weekend.
Yeah, went to that. Matter of fact, that Goodyear tire test I went to, it rained.
So now we know it's you.
Now we know why the air tights are there.
So, George,
Sure did.
George, you got to meet Jack. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I do.
I'll look you up when I get up there.
I have to.
All right, man. We appreciate your time tonight, and we'll get back with you again real soon.
Okay.
Y'all have a great weekend.
Have a
Thank you.
good night.
All right.
Good night.
Seems like it'd be a fun fella.
Yeah, all you got to do is push the speaker button and it goes off.
Yeah, I know, but I like to change it up. I'm a little ADD. I want to do the same thing all the time. I'm Brian's friend this week.
Now, I've already been texting back and forth with Tab, and the guy that, his name is
He just told us, but I couldn't tell you what it was.
Frank Bolter,
Yeah.
and so I'm already following him on Twitter and friend requests on Facebook, and Tab said, yeah, he'd love to just give him a shout on Twitter and start getting things rolling. So maybe we'll be our first indie spotter.
Yeah, I think that'd be really interesting to talk
Yeah.
to him. But what did y'all think about Kurt Busch this weekend?
He
I
did
got to
great.
tell you, he did a great job. Stayed out of trouble. He stayed right up front.
He did what he had to do.
Yeah.
I think the thing was he wanted to finish the race. More importantly,
Yeah.
you know,
And he did it.
Who got a penalty this past weekend? Was it Kyle or Kurt?
Must have been Kyle.
Somebody got their probation extended, and
Oh no, that was in the truck.
Yeah.
in the truck.
That was a truck, and that was
Crum.
Jake Crum.
Yeah.
Jake
No.
Crum.
Hold on, I just saw that.
I know Jake
They
Crum.
they lowered it. He can't go on anything less than a mile.
Yeah.
He can't drive anything. He can't drive on anything more than a mile. I'm sorry,
Right.
more than a mile.
Was he 16?
He's the one that took.
What do you think of Kurt Busch being suspended and having his probation extended for his actions following the Dover nationwide race?
I haven't even been to Dover.
Well, I'm just wondering. This had to have been a while back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that yeah.
We got to talk to George. He hasn't put much on his Facebook page in a while.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say that.
That was
That's
like
2012.
Yeah, that's a while back. That was.
But Jake Crum kind of took Ryan Ellis out.
Yeah.
Oh,
at
they
Charlotte
with me.
You know, and I was wondering what old Al thought about it, because, you know, Al and Ryan Ellis had a love affair going on in here.
Is that what the one that
Yeah.
used the word correctly? Because we were trying to think of that the other day. We thought it was what's his name that we went to Harvard.
No, that won't Star Foley. That was Ellis.
Okay.
And he went looking for him when he got to Bristol.
Yeah. Because he was a road racer too, right?
Yeah, he knows how to use that one word, and I forgot what it was. So
Yeah,
I'll
I
never
don't remember what it was. We were trying to think of it last week.
So this guy impressed Al.
He used one word correctly that Al and nobody else had ever said correctly, and Al
fell in love with it. I mean,
I thought he was going to buy him flowers.
He said,
"I will look you up." Where were they going?
Bristol.
Yeah, that's right. I'll find you. He was giving him tips on how to be nice to PR or you know to writers, and make sure you take your glasses off. These guys know how to you know how to talk, and y'all's road racers. Y'all know how to race. Y'all know how to drive better.
Now let's go back to something we were talking about a little bit earlier before we go off the air here in just about 2 seconds. I cannot believe Brian Morehouse asked you if you rode a Harley.
I used to ride the bike. I used to ride. It wasn't a Harley.
I knew it.
No, I wasn't riding.
I knew it was
holding on to somebody. Yeah, it was Jack.
when he said I rode my bike, I knew he was talking about this.
He knew it had to be a bicycle.
Yeah, he couldn't have been anything else. So when you asked me, you rode a Harley? I was, oh man, I wanted to say something, but we had a guy on there, and I ain't gonna do it.
So you were being nice to me.
It didn't last long though, did it?
He said he rode a Harley, but he didn't say, did you drive it or did you ride it as in hanging onto somebody's shoulder?
No, I used to ride. I didn't have a Harley. I was too cheap to buy a Harley.
Okay.
Oh, he was sitting behind him, hung it on him, being up close.
It's fun to be the good guy, or the one everybody loves.
But I couldn't picture him on a bicycle, like just going real fast.
I could.
Hey, I still had a little red flag going. And with one training wheel.
And I could see him going across that road from the mall over to the racetrack. I could see it. It was
No, I go from the mall. There ain't no road.
Bowens.
Well, yeah, I ride through the parking lot.
Imagine he goes backwards.
I rode through the parking lot at Dover too.
What were you doing in the parking lot?
We got blocked in the parking lot, and I was running over.
How you going to Dover and you ain't inviting me? I thought we was friends.
Worked for 2 minutes there. What else do you want? I mean, it was 30 seconds last show. We built it up. I mean, this first show didn't say it was going to last forever.
Right. Man, good friends are hard to come by.
He's probably been watching the grandkids the last couple of days. He's getting ready to go to Dover, so he's got to be nice to you. So, I just still can't picture you on a bicycle.
I don't know what's so hard about that.
Hey, they arrest you for pedaling your ass. You know that, right?
Oh, they can, but they're usually pretty good. Last time I was up there and had my Sprint Cup. She wasn't in her outfit, but she was riding a bull, and she'd had a few drinks herself.
Really?
Yeah. But it was funny because I seen her the next day and I said something to her. She said, "Oh, that won't me." I'm like, "Yeah, okay." I didn't go over there. Okay. There's a ton of people with hard cards, and I seen you. And somebody said, "We got Miss Sprint Cup on the bull."
So, first I was giving him a chance to be a Harley rider.
Yes, so
by the way, how long
knock
ago-
it back down. I
Was it
appreciate
Mon-
it. Thanks, Brian.
Was it Monica that was on the pool? On the
No, it
bull?
wasn't Monica. Nah, Monica's pretty straightforward.
No, she ain't.
And in public, she
We've
is.
had her on the show, and trust me, she'll tell you. You have to listen to it.
Go back to what you were saying, Brian.
Okay, so
Sorry.
first I was giving you the chance to be a Harley.
Oh, no,
Right.
you were being a friend.
Then you went ahead, now I may offend you in this, but then you said, I said, well, he pedaled back. Then he tells me it's an electric motor. You know? That's all he had to do was stare. I mean, that sort of blew it, Scott. I really did.
It got holes all in it.
To what the heck, I'm not even going to pedal. I'm just going to use the
I know you
electric.
used to see people going out of the casino when I'm just going back on, and you hear, and people go,
Sure, it wasn't maybe a moped.
That's what I'm thinking. Now it's a moped.
It's a
I really
moped,
don't
you got
think they were
pedals to
looking
get
at
started.
the They were probably looking at you.
Now, they were probably wondering where your parents were.
Probably the first time they ever seen a monkey on live.
next time I go around, I'm gonna have Jack on the handlebars.
Oh, Lord.
No, you won't.
I want to see. I want picture proof on that one.
No, you won't.
Could you see?
You
Jack
and
doing
Brian
that
can get
around?
on.
I just can't see y'all two hanging out. Even if he did need to ride back to the RV lot. Y'all two hanging out would really shock me in public. You know, y'all are up to 2.5 minutes of friendship. I don't see it lasting more than 5. And it's not a 2-minute ride.
You should have seen us at Martinsville.
I tried everything in the world to get rid of him, and he's still awesome.
Stood right by him.
Where's in a bad penny?
The bad part about it is I was standing there.
It was raining and he still
And
stood back.
yeah, it was pouring out. It was raining. I said, he'll leave now. And he didn't leave.
Never left.
And there was people walking by me going, when did he get
He
out?
had his son on my side for a little while, and then he gave me a jab. I was like, Jack, I thought you was on my side. He said, I was wondering if you got that.
So maybe y'all were friends more than 2.5 minutes. Y'all hung out the whole day at Martinsville.
No, I'm going to say the whole day.
Pretty near close though.
Okay. So y'all two have hung out in public.
Yeah, people seen us.
There are
I make
pictures.
sure I wave to everybody.
I think he's your dad.
That's what I'm gonna tell everybody. That's what I told him. I said,
Did he buy
look,
you a hot dog?
we got to eat in the media center.
Got to eat with that.
But I did tell him before we went. I said, look, don't try to walk away from me, because if you walk away from me, I'm gonna start acting like a retard. I'm like, dude, don't hit me, Dad. You know I can't hold no face.
So that's why every time he stopped to talk to somebody, I left.
Tried to break loose, didn't work.
Then I went to the media center and looked up, and here he come.
Yeah, He had a GPS tracker on it. You just didn't know it.
It could have been far as the media center because you ain't gonna walk a whole
you're
lot.
not gonna go.
And in a 24 truck. It's
kind of like. It's kind of like diarrhea.
No matter how much you wipe, it keeps coming back.
I don't know how his wife puts up with him, to be honest. I can't wait to meet her so I can talk to her. She's going to give me some stories or something.
She may like you. You're a likable guy. Jack just don't like you for some reason. What have you done to him?
what it is. I don't know.
Hold on. You got his dad right here. Come on. He's got all the stories.
I got to talk to him away from Jack. That way I can get some good dirt.
That's all right. If he doesn't give you a ride home, he'll give you a ride home.
Okay. I don't know. His things break down quite a bit.
Yeah, you won't make far.
He had to go through 3 vehicles just to get down the racetrack.
Hey, he would text me first thing in the morning, where you at? Of course, my truck broke down, so I wasn't camped on the back stretch, so we were about 30 miles up this road.
See, Jack is one of those early risers. He's like me. My problem is I had somebody else with me, and I couldn't get to the point where it was her to get up early rising. Terry takes
Forever.
Yeah, her 2 minutes to get ready is 30 minutes. I'll be down to shop in 15 minutes. 2 hours later, she'll show up.
Her ass have been left right there, huh?
Well, you driving? Because he texted me that morning. He said, what time are you leaving to go to the racetrack?
I'm already here.
I'm already here.
It's snowing.
It's 6:30 in the morning. I was already at the racetrack.
What'd you do at 6:30 in the morning?
Not much.
Not much of anything. Sit there watching snow, watch everybody go, oh, God, it's snowing.
That's why I didn't rush out there. I was like, it's fucking snowing.
Let's put a wrap on it, man.
Yeah,
let's go get something to eat.
I'd like to welcome. I want to say welcome. Jeez, started all over. Thanks for being with us.
And we got an opening over here available.
Yeah. Do what?
No.
Why, you're not going to be here next week?
No, I was going to say I was getting rid of Jack.
Oh. You do have to go past him to get out. You know that, right?
He loves me.
And I don't know who's got the bigger.
If he looks at me, he smiles. That's how I know he likes me.
Who's got the bigger truck tonight?
When I look at him and smile, I'm just thinking, God, there's somebody really.
Somebody has to live with him.
Gosh, who does this?
Thank God there's
I want to meet your wife.
Go
ahead. Hey, Jack.
She's got to be a saintly person to live with you.
Hey, Jack, you know what you need to do? Get yourself set up in an arena race car.
No, no, I don't want to get no arena race car because there's people out there that don't know what they're doing. They run backwards on the track.
Put his ass.
More will let you use it.
I know, but there's people out there that run backwards on the track.
I couldn't get him flipped over. He weighs a little
But I
much.
could get you flipped over.
Yeah, or you can show him. Scott.
What does the race look like when you're down like that?
They
Honestly, that's a scary feeling.
They going like
No,
this.
it's not scary. You don't know what the hell happens. All you see is the racetrack roll across the windshield a few times. You don't know where the hell you're at.
Because I mean, when I was an official for arena racing, it was we just came right off of our season from Langley, and Ricky brought us in, and Kenny was the director, and we had one meeting, and it was like, let's have a clean night, work, watch your backs, everything else. We go out there and the car flips. Well, 4 of us officials get out there and we're real easy. We're hearing in our radios, be easy, easy, easy. We get him over, guy takes off. We're like, none of us were expecting that.
No,
We were making sure, are you going to be
Hardly
okay?
anybody doesn't keep going after we flip over.
Wow.
They have to flip over the wall.
Nobody's done that. I came real close this past time.
Really?
Yeah. Nobody's been outside the wall yet. That'll be bad.
That would be.
Knowing you're going to be the one that'll try it.
No, I ain't gonna try it on purpose.
Well,
I'll feel sorry for the one that puts me over there. I'll tell you that.
Well, I'll tell you what, first race next year, Scott Perlman may be looking for you.
That's okay. I mean,
Unless
like
you
I said,
apologize.
And I will try to my best to be there for that first race next year. I don't know.
That would have been real funny because he said, "Look, I'm gonna come to the arena race, but I want a headset."
He wants to hear everything.
If he'd have been there that last one, then
You got an earful.
I don't know.
He apologized.
When Scott did spin me out and I was coming after him, all I could hear in the radio was like, "Don't do it, Scott, don't do it." All right.
Too late.
Too late.
Yeah, it was too late.
All right, we're going to try to wind this down and get it. Y'all got the audio system yet?
Yeah, we're good.